You want to talk about real racism? I'll be honest. Black people are the most racist people, bro.
Oh yeah, I know.
They openly do it, and it's because and the reason why is because they're able to openly be racist with zero consequence, so they can say what they want to say. You know, like literally, I'll see them say the most deplorable things about white people, but they feel as that they can do it because of slavery and everything else like that. And I'm like, it's interesting because you guys perpetuate the very thing that you cry about the most.
Yes, he's right, and I call it black privilege. If a white person's racist, they're ostracized from society. People don't want to interact with them. They won't do business with them. Perfectly reasonable. If a black person is racist, they find excuses for that person. Well, you know, we were oppressed back in the day in slavery, so it's okay if we're racist now. White people will hold other white people accountable for being racist. Black people, on the other hand, the vast majority of black people will not hold other black people accountable for being racist. Many people will go even as far to try to say that black people can't be racist. That is stupid. But many of us say we want racism to disappear, but we continue to perpetuate the thing that we say we hate. It is not okay for a black person to be racist towards white people simply because slavery in history. It shouldn't be rules for thee, but not for me. If we don't want racism, let's hold everybody accountable across the board. But what he was saying is accurate. And it's a problem.
Yo, so we back in here for another edition of F-ya-Motha, and what he was saying was not accurate, and this is a jackass. Let me break this down. First of all, the guy that's making the points in the video that he's even making commentary about, Myron Gaines, is an idiot tether. He makes the most deplorable, despicable comments about black people, generalizes black people, while ignoring the fact that he's a black African. Now, he likes to make distinguishes when it's convenient from Africans to African Americans, but I digress. This dude is an idiot because, one, black people aren't openly racist. By and large, that's not a consensus. I've been on the West Coast. I'm from the Midwest. I've been down south, and I've been in parts of what you would call or up north, Pennsylvania, shit like that. Black people don't openly practice racism against white people. Now, I think I did a video where I distinguished between racism and racialism. If you didn't catch that video, it behoove you to go back and watch it. But there's a difference between racism and racialism, right? Now, ostracizing somebody or ridiculing them because of their race, that's racialism. Racism, there's, I guess you would say, two types, right? It's good racism and it's bad racism. I wouldn't necessarily say it's good racism. It's neutral, right? It's not bad or good. It's just what it is, right? If you're black or you're white and you identify as black or white, that's racism. You partake in the ism of race. But as it pertains to like negative racism, no, black people don't practice that shit on a daily basis towards white people. One, he said that racism can be practiced by black people was a stupid comment. That's actually not. If you go by American standards and of racism, which is mostly, by and large, institutionalized racism and systematic racism, we don't control large institutions like churches, banks, hospitals, schools, federal buildings, so on and so forth. We also aren't the leading demographic of people that control the system, i.e. the government, the judiciary section of the branch of the government, the executive branch of the government, and the legislative branch of the government, right? Legislative branch of government passed laws that actually prohibited black people back in the early 1900s. I'd like to go as far as to say even the fucking mid 80s. The executive branch, well, see Joe Biden. And the judiciary branch, well, we don't even have to talk about the mass incarceration, wrongfully and convicted people of color. But I digress. What I will say is black people can be bigots. We can't even be prejudiced. I'm going to just give you the Webster's dictionary of what racism is. And this was written by men that were racist around that time. Webster dictionary was comprised of 1712. That's when white men practiced racism openly at its height. But it says right here, it says racism is a noun. It's a thing. I don't even know how that's spelled. I thought it was adjective, but whatever. It says prejudice, discrimination, and or antagonism by an individual, community, or institution against a person or people on the basis of their membership in a particular racial or ethnic group, typically one that is minority or marginalized. That sounds like people of color and black people. Don't sound like white people to me. This is stupid. The fact that I gotta point this out, and this was actually on Twitter, and some jackass actually tweeted it and actually left a caption talking about, see, this is right. There is black privilege. Black privilege comprises of the mythos of having a big dick and white girls wanting to get a part of it. Black privilege is being looked at as part of the hip-hop community, even though you may not have any rhythm and can't write rhymes. Black privilege is always being seen as the quote-unquote urban or popular or cool person in a group of non-black people, i.e. tokens. Black privilege in America, as it pertains to normal society or the rest of society, there's no privilege in being black. By and large, mostly black people's pulled out their fucking car when we get pulled over by the authorities, searched for no good reason, right? They call it routine traffic stops, where they want to search for drugs or paraphernalia, all because you didn't use your fucking blinker, which is a traffic citation or a ticket at the most. I don't know what black privilege they're talking about. Black privilege, when a nigga get railroaded in court or in public opinion, like Bill Cosby or even Diddy, before even there's been any type of proof. Hell, black privilege was O.J. Simpson being convicted in public opinion of killing his wife, even though he don't know how to do a goddamn Colombian necktie. And on top of all that, he couldn't have made it from the airport to his house in record time to kill his wife. Like, what is black privilege? Black privilege is being Tiger Woods, cheating on your wife, she's smashing your damn windows with a damn golf stick, and you going to jail for it. That's black privilege. Black privilege is just some white kids that spend the night over your house because you're a pop entertainer and their parents claim that you touched on a pee-pee, and they booking you and got mugshots of you as the king of pop, even though there's no physical evidence, and the kids denied it. I don't know what this black privilege is that they speak about. They sound like jackasses. So black people make jokes within the confines of our own house. Everybody makes jokes, even if they're deemed racist. Who gives a fuck? If it's not public, what are you bitching about? I've never heard any black person be in the company of black people making fun of white people and felt uncomfortable. You kissing their ass even when they're not around? Get a life. I'm not even going to hold that against white people that make racist jokes when we ain't around. I don't give a damn. That's like your boy Donald Sterling. It was fucked up, the remarks that he made, but unbeknownst to him, he was being recorded. Had we not heard the recording, I wouldn't give a fuck if he ever said it. Matter of fact, I heard the recordings. I still didn't give a shit because he was saying it within the comfort of his own home. I think you should be subjected to that. I think that is your right. I think if you want to say the most slanderous shit and it happens to your house and somebody's just recording it for shits and giggles or spite or get back, I don't care. Me personally, I didn't give a shit when Mel Gibson made the comments about his wife being raped by a pack of niggas. He was at the house. He was pissed off. Now, would I work with Mel Gibson? Probably not. But do I give a damn that he said it? Not really. Not to the extent that I'm gonna hold him to it, because he was under the impression it was a private conversation. So I don't give a shit. Now, because I know he harbors those type of views, I'm probably not gonna interact with him, just because I don't like racist people. So it's conflict of interest. But do I think you need to be stigmatized and lose opportunity and lose your job? Not really. You know what I'm saying? And black people don't say things that are that offensive in the privacy and the confines of, we might say white people smell like wet dogs because they don't shower regularly. That's an unfamiliar smell to us. We might say shit like you don't cook with seasoning. That's no harm, no foul. You ain't got rhythm. You like to do illicit drugs. None of the shit that we say is far from reality and truth. We don't say things that are racially malicious. White people actually carry on racial tropes like we didn't grow up with our dad, or he went to buy a pack of cigarettes and disappeared, some type shit. When I'm 40 years old, most of the black people I know their dad, even if they didn't grow up in the household with them. So what? The parents didn't stick together. He still stuck around. He was in the fucking neighborhood, but they carry on that trope. That's offensive because one, it ain't true by and large, and two, there's more single mothers that are white on welfare than it is black women. That's why it's offensive. The welfare queen shit was like made to be the face of black women, when white women actually get food stamps at 32% of the population, more than Mexicans, even black people. What are we talking about here? White people say things that are racist about black people that have to do with the N-word, which was a trope used during slavery, antebellum slavery, Jim Crow, when people were getting lynched and shit like that. That's why that's offensive. We don't really typically say shit. White people ain't historically been lynched and killed and murdered and enslaved, and then we mock them. So the standard is different. We might call a person a cracker, but that's not racist. That's because the term cracker came from an overseer that was hitting you with a whip, and the sound of the whip made a crack sound. So you would call him the cracker because he's a bad person, because he's beating enslaved people. I would have thought that was obvious. The N-word comes from them maliciously calling you less of a person, subhuman, and then enslaving you to add insult to injury. So this is stupid. And I've already put up the definition of racism, so you can't really refute me on that. These two jackasses in the video are just, I don't know, boot kissing for white people, I guess. These are black right-wing mascots. They just like to parrot stuff from right-wing conservatives because they think that it makes them look cool and they are part of the crowd. Let me just put you on to something, Myron, and this jackass that put this TikTok up in there. You ain't in the club. You might as well relax. In any event, if you like this video, I will be doing lives after January 6th. You can catch me Wednesday at 8 o'clock, and I'm out.